in your hands, soaked in sweat when we dance.
So we have a new gold trimmed boomstick. The Cedo is one of our most used weapons in the community over the last few years, and for good reason. What's up, you beautiful feckers? How you all doing? Now, the Cedo Prime is the latest and some might say greatest addition to the game. It is a big upgrade compared to the normal Cedo. You can build it for crit, you can build it for status, you can build it as a primer. It is entirely up to you. So let's have a look, shall we? Now, its primary fire is a fully automatic one that fires 7 pellets with an innate punch through of 0.8 meters. It deals primarily puncture damage. Its passive is a built-in condition overload effect, meaning that it deals 60% bonus damage for every unique status effect on your target. So more status effects means more damage. It is very much a close to mid-range weapon because it does suffer from damage fall off. But at the end of it all, this weapon absolutely shreds. Now, its alternate fire is what makes this really stand out. The Cedo Prime will launch a glaive that bounces up to 11 times and it explodes on impact with a 6-meter radius. The initial hit has a 50% status chance and the explosion guarantees 2 random status effect, one based on the mods that you have equipped and one random from toxic, cold, electric or heat. As you can see on screen, this is it unmodded and it is still applying status effects. Now, the explosion from the glaive doesn't need line of sight to deal damage. It can go through walls, making it perfect for cleaning rooms or hitting enemies behind cover, plus multi-shot affects the number of glaives that the weapon will launch. So you can send out multiple glaives at once. More multi-shot means more fun, more explosions. There are, of course, primary arcanes that can increase your multi-shot as well, like primary blight or primary, I think it's frostbite. So equipping either of those will help your glaive substantially. Now, using its all fire will prime a lot of targets, and then you can just use the primary fire to shred them based on the bonus 60% condition overload effect that you're going to get per status effect on that enemy. Oh, and if you're running this with your Lavos Prime, which is just the prime access, then the Cedo Prime also has an innate shotgun ammo mutation effect when used with him, so you're not going to run out of ammo anytime soon. But is the Cedo Prime worth getting, and how do you go about getting all of its parts and building it? The answer to is it worth it, of course, is a feck yeah, but I'm just going to revert back to the small clip I had in yesterday's video that's going to show off all of the relics, where you can farm them, which mission, and then of course it's just up to RNG whether you get the parts from those relics or not. There is an incredibly effective relic cheat sheet on Reddit, which I'm going to link in this description of the video in case you're new to Warframe and you want to hold on to the images in this cheat sheet for future farming. Save the images and use them when you are farming any relics for all upcoming prime items, frames and weapons so that you can farm them more efficiently. But these are the relics on screen right now that you're going to need for each of the new prime items: Lavos, the Cedo, and of course the dual Zoran Prime as well. Now the coptering is back. Now you're free to farm the relics however you want to, but capture missions and disruption missions are the preferred way for a lot of players within the community, and I'm sure plenty of people will leave comments telling you which missions you should run in the comment section below. Missions like Hepit is a void capture, so it's quick and it drops Lith relics. Uko is another capture that drops both Meso relics and Neo relics, or if you prefer disruption farming, then Olympus on Mars for Mesa relics, Ur on Uranus for Neo relics, and Apollo on Lua will give you Axie relics. Or you could try something like Xeni on Eris, which can drop Axie relics, I think, on round 3 or round 4, but not many players like running Xeni now. Syndicates can also sell you relic packs for 20k standing, and any of the mining vendors on Cetus, on Fortuna, and on Deimos also have relic packs up for sale for standing as well. There is also Teshin, who will sell you relic packs for steel essence, so you have a lot of ways to get the relics that you need. Now, if you're new to Warframe and you don't have a lot of those mods and you've just picked up the Prime Access Pack, then you could mod it something like this, which is basically viral and heat. You could also go corrosive and heat, whichever elemental you want to. You're going to go for crit damage, you're going to go for crit chance, you're going to go for base damage, you're going to go for multi-shot, fire rate, and then you're going to go for whichever elements you want, whichever enemy type you're going up against. Now, this is the build I've been using on my Cedo Prime. It does have 5 Forma, but of course you can mod whoever the hell you want. It is a magnetic, cold and corrosive build, but you can switch elements around to fit whatever you're going up against. I do have counterbalance because the weapon does have a substantial bit of recoil once you've got a decent fire rate, which I do have because of magnetic strafe, but also because I've got a hound that is increasing my fire rate with, I think it's tenacious bond as well. Not tenacious, John, not tenacious, clearly reinforced, you fucking idiot. So I've modded for crit chance, which is going to reduce my fire rate, but this is going to bring it back up, and so is my hound. I've also got crit damage, I've got multi-shot, I've got corrosive with primed charged shell and toxic barrage, then I've got magnetic and fire rate, then I've got condition overload, which I'm also getting from the passive, the 60% additional damage per status effect on a target, and then I've got cold. But if you wanted to, you could drop out magnetic strafe and you could put in a Bane mod here if you wanted to, maybe Prime Cleanse or Roken or whatever you're going up against, or you could put in Shotgun Barrage if you wanted more of a fire rate. Completely up to you. The Arcane is, I guess, a flex edition. Whichever you want to use is entirely up to you. I've got Primary Frostbite simply because Lavos does freeze enemies, and that's who I've been using it on. But if I'm not using it on Lavos or Frost, I would use maybe Primary Crux for that additional status chance. You've also got Primary Blight, depending on whatever Warframe you're using, and then you've got Deadhead or Merciless. Completely up to you. But as it stands with this setup, it is incredibly, and I mean incredibly, effective. Now, if you wanted to mod it as a prime or to spread as many status effects as you possibly could, you could do something like this. Now, I've gone for a magnetic, corrosive, blast, and radiation setup, which means with magnetic, it's also going to jam enemy weapons when using primary obstruct, but you can use whichever arcane you want. But this is pretty much the setup, right? Radiation, magnetic, then I've got corrosive with these two, and then of course I've got blast with the cold damage and the heat damage, and I've got hunter munitions in here for the chance at spreading some slash procs. Now, of course, weapons, platform, warframes or setups are going to make this shotgun absolutely shine, but I've been enjoying it with my Dagath, with my Frost, and of course with Lavos Prime as well. But you can let me know what warframe you've been running it with once you get your hands on it, if you don't already. What warframe do you think makes this shine more than anything else? Probably Lavos, right? Now, whether you're a fan of shotguns, of the glaive that it fires, or just blowing enemies up in general, the Cedo Prime absolutely delivers. It is a significant upgrade over the normal Cedo, and it is incredibly versatile in terms of what warframe you want to bring it with. It is not tied to any specific warframe. You can bring it with any frame and it is going to work incredibly well. It is definitely one of the top tier weapons in game, and it is easily one of the best primaries to bring with you in game right now as well. But that's pretty much the Cedo Prime. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of it once you get your hands on it, if you don't already. Do me a huge favor and hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, or don't if you didn't. Have a great day, have a great week or weekend, and as always, thanks very much for watching.